Imagine on the quiet streets of Steveston, Richmond East during the last election, concerned and engaged Chinese residents would approach me and my dedicated volunteers. They would brandish a mail-in drop card, an innocuous piece of paper in their native Chinese language, advancing a dangerous falsehood. It asserted the Conservative government would revoke prohibition on assault rifles. This was chilling prospect, especially for many community members who hail from a culture with strict firearm prohibitions.
I don't expect normal people to watch House of Commons committee testimony, but I do. And what happened on Tuesday was beautiful, and I want to show you. But first, we need some context. Former Conservative Party MP for Steveston, Richmond East in British Columbia, Kenny Chiu, testified before the Ethics Committee about Chinese foreign interference. Now, you may remember Kenny Chiu from the Foreign Interference Commission, where he testified to being a target of Chinese state-run disinformation campaigns after he proposed a foreign agent registry. The disinformation against Chiu was fomented in Chinese media and on Chinese social media platforms like WeChat. Remember this?
But then I thought I would be protected by my country, and I was deeply troubled, disappointed that I was exposed, and the government doesn't seem to care. And now that through the commission, I've learned that they've known all about it. It's almost like I was drowning, and they are watching.
Now, Kenny Chiu lost his seat in the 2021 election, but he loves this country, democracy, and freedom, so much so that when he testified about wanting to participate in politics here in Canada, he said that he all but cut ties with his Hong Kong-based family to protect them from CCP pressure campaigns. Chiu's seat was won instead by Liberal MP Parm Bains. Now, this is what makes Kenny Chiu's testimony at the Ethics Committee on Tuesday so great. First, I'll show you a clip, and then I'll tell you why that room got real tense and awkward after Chiu's opening statement. Okay, look at this.
Let me introduce my former opponent. In my view, his ascent to power was paved with disinformation, perhaps through a calculated strategy or at the very least, as a willing participant in a now proven disinformation campaign. He willingly embraced and propagated accusation targeting Conservatives, including our then leader Aaron O'Toole and myself, of racism and harboring anti-Asian sentiments, exploitative and manipulative. These allegations linked to foreign states reverberated through biased media channels and chat groups. If holding the Indian government accountable for alleged actions in Canada, it's not anti-Asian, anti-Indian, then why would countering the confirmed clandestine and deceptive efforts of Chinese communists in Canada ever be considered anti-Chinese?
What is incredible about that testimony is that the beneficiary of the Chinese meddling against Kenny Chiu was actually in the room. And not just in the room. Parm Bains has the gall to sit on the House of Commons Ethics Committee. This was Kenny Chiu's chance to tell Parm Bains, that cheater, exactly what he thought of him. And Kenny Chiu did it a couple more times, like this right here.
Always put myself in my opponent's shoes. If I had observed this information being propagated against him, character assassination, I would actually stand to defend him, because it is not true. It is not the right way to conduct our democracy. But unfortunately, that was not the case during the election in 2021. And it was obvious that there were targeted campaign attack against me, and I was basically alone.
Now, I'm sure, like many of you, I'm glad to see Kenny Chiu finally getting his chance to have his say to the very people who amplified the Chinese state-run attacks against him. But I also find it upsetting because it has left Kenny Chiu questioning his opinion of this country that he chose as his own.
It touches my very inner identity to its core, because I always believe that the Prime Minister is wrong, that Canada does not have a systemic and structural discrimination against certain group. But what I heard during the hearings shook that a little bit, because it looks like that there are some Canadians that are more worthy and valuable for protection than others.
For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. To sign the petition to throw out foreign state actors meddling in Canadian democracy and spying on us, please go to kickthemout.ca.